Hi, we're going to look at how to write a rent increase letter, making the process less awkward and easier to approach for landlords. First, let's look at when to use a rent increase letter. Rent increase notices tend to be used at 4 different times: the end of an annual lease, before a rental agreement expires, the middle of a lease, and the end of a month-to-month lease. However, it's most common for a rent increase to happen when the tenancy agreement is either set to come to an end, or if a renewal is coming up. It's important to remember that rental increase letters need certain elements to make them legal, which makes our free template very handy. These components also make things clear to the tenant, and so avoids potential confusion. Regardless of the increase, for example, monthly or yearly, the components are the same. The only real difference is the dates that must be included in the rent increase letter. You'll also need to include the date you wrote the letter before increasing the rent amount, and you need to include a few days for it to arrive before the start of the notice period. Realistically, if you're giving a 60-day notice, you should allow for 65 days, giving the letter plenty of time to arrive. A change in rent notice is the subject of the letter. It's also a good idea to use change in rent notice and not rent increase notice, as the latter sounds more aggressive. The wording is important, and you can choose a different way of saying it, but it must convey the intention without being pushy or rude. The way you greet your tenant is also crucial. Dear Tenant is used by some, but using the tenant's first name can be a better idea, because it identifies the tenant as an actual person first, and the tenant second. Now we come to the body of the letter, which includes the most content. The body can be created in any style, but make sure you include the date that the increase will take effect. You should also state the address of the property, and the amount of rent that is currently payable. Also, state that the named person is a tenant at that property, and that all other tenancy agreement terms will not change. This is where you end the letter. The closing lines consist of things like, "Thank you," and "Best regards," etc. The final part of the rent increase letter needs to include your name, signature, and title. We hope you're better prepared to write your rent increase letter. Remember, you can scroll down to the bottom of the blog to use our free template. Thanks, and see you next time.